What's going on, everybody? We are back with another Oscars predictions video. Today I will be predicting all of the supporting acting categories. I have just seen Wicked and Gladiator 2, and those did not shift my predictions in the supporting categories quite as much as they did in the lead acting categories. But we do have first reactions for A Complete Unknown, which has shifted some of my rankings here. So let's get right into the video. Starting off with supporting actress, we really have 3 guaranteed nominations, it seems like, at this point, and then a whole range of contenders vying for those last 2 slots. I still believe Zoe Saldana is the frontrunner. I have her winning right now. Amelia Perez has faced a lot of backlash online since its release on Netflix a few weeks ago, and I don't believe this is going to hurt Zoe Saldana all that much. Even among those who don't like the movie agree that the acting, particularly from her, is the best part of the film. So I think she will be okay. And I also don't believe the industry is going to have the same level of hostility towards the movie as the general public is having right now. They are going to want to go into the movie to have a good time and celebrate what it's trying to do, and I think they're going to get just that. So I don't think Saldana is going to be affected too much, but there is a possibility she can fall off from number 1 if Amelia Perez does indeed keep losing momentum, and that leaks into the industry awards. A lot of people have been putting Ariana Grande at number 1 since Wicked's release, and I can see why. She is excellent in the film. She has great comedic timing, she's spontaneous in the film, and she shows a lot of emotion in the scenes where it's required. She really knocks her role as Glinda out of the park. The only reason why I'm a little bit hesitant to move her up to number 1 is because, first off, Wicked is a part 1. I think if they were to give her the win for anything, it would probably be part 2, which apparently has even more good dramatic moments for both actresses. And 2, she is a pop star. I think they're going to want to give it to an industry veteran instead of Ariana for her first big film role. So we'll just have to see what the industry is feeling with that as well. But for now, I think Ariana definitely safe for the nomination. Felicity Jones for The Brutalist, I think, has been getting underestimated. You know, I think there's a good chance that Jones wins BAFTA and is then competitive for the Oscar. Many critics have said that she is a highlight of The Brutalist, and I just think that if The Brutalist is this larger-than-life force in awards season, there's a good chance that Felicity Jones can come along and win with the film. And the big thing really is those BAFTA awards, which I think will go out hard for The Brutalist, and that can give Felicity Jones the edge over either Saldana or Grande, depending on what the Academy's feeling about Amelia Perez and Wicked. After this is where it starts to get a little difficult predicting these last 2 slots. Danielle Deadwyler for The Piano Lesson, I think, is in right now. She's almost assuredly going to get a SAG nomination for this film. SAG really loves these August Wilson adaptations, and I also think she'll definitely get into those awards bodies that have 6 nominations, so she's going to be a consistent presence throughout award season. I just wonder if The Piano Lesson being weaker than a lot of these films is going to hurt her chances. You know, she was snubbed for Till. I don't doubt that it can happen again for this movie. I really hope it doesn't. She is the best part of The Piano Lesson, and I think the nomination is absolutely deserved, but there is just a chance that she falls off, with this being the only category that really has potential to get a nomination from The Piano Lesson. My 5th slot, I've been going back and forth between a few different options. I'm going to stick with Selena Gomez for now for Amelia Perez, because with Netflix backing this, they have been marketing her just as much as the other ladies in the film. She has been doing a lot of campaigning, and I think that might be the difference maker in getting her over the line and getting that nomination. You know, she's not given as much to do as either Carla Sofia Gascon or Zoe Saldana in the film, so she's definitely the weakest link here. But for now, I think that big push that she's going to get in campaigning is going to help her a lot, and so I have her getting that nomination, but I'm not sold on it. Monica Barbaro for A Complete Unknown is one that has risen for me since we got the reactions for A Complete Unknown. A lot of reviews have been highlighting her as one of the best parts of the film. She's apparently a very big standout. She is playing Joan Baez, a real person. She sings throughout the film. I've heard her voice is excellent. So there's definitely a possibility that Barbaro could slip in there if A Complete Unknown ends up being pretty strong and is getting into picture in a few other categories. Maybe she can come along with the film. I'm going to keep her out for now just because I'd like to see a little bit more before I'm sold on it, but it's a possibility depending on how well Searchlight does with this film. Isabella Rossellini for Conclave. I am not sold on this, but she has been doing a lot of campaigning, and there is a chance that she gets in as sort of that Judi Dench in Belfast, where the performance really doesn't warrant it, but they just respect her so much as an actress and just want to give her an Oscar nomination. It's definitely possible, but because she really doesn't have that much to do, I am going to keep her out. I have been shifting her in and out, but for now, I'm going to say no, but it is a possibility just because of how well respected she is, and I'm sure there are people in that actor's branch that would like to see Rossellini get a nomination. Anjanou Ellis-Taylor for Nickel Boys. She just hasn't been getting quite as much praise as other aspects of the movie, the direction, the writing. So I think there's a chance that even if Nickel Boys hits really hard for the Academy, she could be left out because, like Rossellini, her role in the film is small, and it doesn't seem like the role that's going to hit with a lot of precursors, so there's just a chance that she's not going to come along with the film, and I'm also not 100% sold on the film in Best Picture, so I'm going to leave Ellis-Taylor out for now. Saoirse Ronan for Blitz. She has dropped tremendously in my rankings over the last month. I do not believe in Blitz at all. It's such a nothing movie. It has lost all momentum, has absolutely no buzz, and I know a lot of people are holding on to the idea that Blitz is going to hit really hard with the BAFTAs because it's a British film, and I just don't really buy that in any category other than Tex. So I just think Saoirse Ronan's going to fall with Blitz, and because I don't have Blitz getting into picture, I don't have her getting into supporting actress. Now, if Blitz does have a resurgence with the industry and gets into Best Picture, I guess Saoirse Ronan would have to come along with it, but she just doesn't do anything that spectacular in it for me to believe at this moment with the little buzz that the film has that she can get in. Margaret Qualley for The Substance is an option I've seen some Substance diehards putting in. I love the film, but I just don't buy this film getting a supporting performance. We're going to be lucky if Demi Moore even gets a nomination in Best Actress. The Substance would have to be like a top 3 film here for Qualley to get in, and I just don't believe we live in that reality. So there is a very slim chance, but I just do not buy it. Moving on to Best Supporting Actor. Like Supporting Actress, I believe there are 3 really safe nominations, and then some that could happen after that. And I know what you're thinking looking at the side of the screen. Clarence Macklin I do have at number 1 for Sing Sing. I recognize that Sing Sing has lost a lot of momentum. A24 did not do a good job with its initial release in July. But I just believe that if they are able to get this film in front of voters, voters will want to go out for it because of how it will make them feel by the end. And I have heard that A24 is going to be doing a re-release of this film in January, in time for it to gain a lot of momentum into the awards season. So I just think if Macklin is getting up on stage and making speeches at some precursors, that's going to affect a lot of voters emotionally, and they're going to want to give it to him. He has a great narrative, potentially the best of any category this year. No one has ever gotten nominated for playing themselves, much less win. And on top of that, he is just one of the best supporting actor performances of the year. So I do think that Sing Sing is going to get a resurgence. I know a lot of people disagree with that, but I just have this gut feeling that Sing Sing is going to hit hard with the industry, unlike what we are seeing right now. So for that reason, I do have Clarence Macklin at number 1. Kieran Culkin, I realize, has been the frontrunner for many people since its release a few weeks ago, and I can see why. He's really good in the film, just such a standout. He's hilarious. He has a lot of great dramatic moments that made me tear up, but I just think that there's a chance that with A Complete Unknown coming out, that's probably going to be a hit at the box office. Searchlight may shift their priorities to that film in Best Picture, and if that's happening, there is a chance that Kieran Culkin could stand to fall off a little bit and maybe not win. And I also just think A Real Pain is going to be just a little bit too small to really hit with the Oscars. I've been seeing some people predicting it to win screenplay and be a top 3 contender for picture. I don't buy that. If it's getting into Best Picture, it's probably number 9 or 10, and I just don't think Kieran Culkin can win with that. I do think he's excellent in the film, and he would deserve a win, but I just have my doubts about the film as a whole right now. Guy Pearce for The Brutalist, definitely a possibility to win, definitely a guaranteed nomination here. I've heard a lot of people as well say that he is a standout in The Brutalist and just plays this cold villain, and I think a lot of people are going to want to award him. He also has a great narrative like Macklin in that Pearce has never been nominated. He should have been for Memento back in 2000, and I think he's going to get that nomination. I think he's going to win BAFTA, much like I think Felicity Jones is, so there is a definite possibility that if some of these other performances just aren't strong enough, The Brutalist being this massive thing can get him a win in supporting actor. Denzel Washington for Gladiator 2, I would not say is locked. Gladiator 2 has certainly lost momentum over the last couple weeks. It just seems to not be hitting for everyone like the first Gladiator did, and that's going to hold it back in picture. Everyone recognizes that it's a fun movie, but it's just not as good as Gladiator. But I don't think this is going to affect Denzel Washington. He gets in for much less high-profile things, and his performance, by every metric, is the best part of Gladiator 2, and everyone agrees. No matter if they dislike the movie, they love Denzel Washington in this film. So I just don't think Denzel's going to be affected by any slippage that Gladiator 2 suffers. Edward Norton in A Complete Unknown, I have shifted into this last spot in supporting actor since the reactions for A Complete Unknown. I have seen a lot of people say that he is maybe the best performance in here. He has a lot of great scenes. He's apparently in the film a lot in the beginning and sprinkled in throughout the entire film, and has a monologue at the end. So I think with how respected of a veteran he is, there's just a good chance that Edward Norton is going to come along with A Complete Unknown, even if it isn't in Best Picture, which I'm getting the feeling that it probably is going to be at the moment. But like I said, Edward Norton is apparently great in A Complete Unknown. Everyone's saying he's a standout, so I got him in here. Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice, I think is absolutely deserving of a nomination. If it was up to me, he'd be in my top 3 of the year for this category right now. But The Apprentice is just going to be so hurt this year by the fact that Donald Trump won. I don't think he's going to get in. I think it's going to be too small, too underseen, and unlike Sebastian Stan, who has the novelty of playing Donald Trump, and that will help him, Jeremy Strong just doesn't have that playing Roy Cohn. There's no novelty to it like Stan has. And I also just think that the competition in supporting actor is more crowded with people in films that have Best Picture aspirations, unlike that fifth slot in Best Actor. So for those reasons, I think Strong is going to fall a little bit short, even though that he absolutely deserves it. Stanley Tucci for Conclave is one that I can see getting in. I'm just unsure about how strong Conclave is going to be. If it's a top 4 film at the Oscars, I can see Tucci getting in over Edward Norton, but I just don't think he does quite enough. You know, he's in the film very consistently throughout the entire runtime, but he's not really given any one moment to really pop like Ralph Fiennes does. So I just think that Tucci just might fall short off of just not having quite enough material to really land a punch. But it's definitely a possibility with Conclave's strength. You're a Borisov for Anora. I know a lot of fans of Anora are hoping that this happens. I have my doubts after seeing it multiple times. I just don't think he is given enough either, less than Tucci. You know, he doesn't really do that much throughout the entire film until he kind of becomes the heart of it in the last 20 minutes, which is why a lot of people are wanting him to get in. But I don't know, I just don't really buy it in comparison to some of these other more flashy performances. I just have my doubts about if this role will be recognized by the industry. Mark Eidelstein, similar feelings. I just don't think any of these supporting boys in Anora are going to be able to break out of the pack and be the one to get that nomination. I think the only acting performance from Anora is going to be Mikey Madison. These supporting boys are just all really solid, but just not doing quite enough to get that favor within the industry. And Josh O'Connor for Challengers, I just have him here to fill out the space on the side of the screen. I don't believe Challengers is going to get a resurgence and get a Best Picture nomination. I guess in some reality, this is a possibility that it comes along, but I don't think we're living in that reality. So that's it with my supporting acting predictions. Everybody, what did you think? I know some of you are really going to disagree with me putting Macklin at number 1. Do you think Ariana Grande has a chance? What do you think about the Brutalist supporting actors? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your predictions in the comments section. And if you liked what you saw here today and you would like to see more, subscribe to follow the odyssey that is Oscar season.